So why is big vision important? You've got to create alignment on one true vision, okay? Who here has a true vision in their company that even if they ask their smallest staff members, the ones that do 5 hours a week and get paid $6 an hour on Upwork, could tell you what their vision is? Maybe two, maybe a couple of you, right? So your job as CEO, as owner, is to not only paint the vision, right? But what did the last slide say? Someone far more successful than me, right? What did it say? Relentlessly drive it to completion. Okay? So your job as CEO and owner is to paint the vision, but then relentlessly drive it to completion, right? You have to have the team and build the team to work to implement it, okay? Because none of you here can be successful if you're doing all the work. Adam broke that down today, okay? Who understands that after today? Good. Then what do you have to do? Become a chess master, right? I think one of the reasons I've been successful in business is I was a chess champion when I was in school. And I was also really good, top of my math class. So I have the data, the numbers, and the strategy, right? And chess really is looking at a scenario and planning counter scenarios and thinking a few moves ahead, okay? Business really isn't any different. So when we have an idea, often before I've even said the idea, naturally my brain's run about 5 scenarios before it even comes out my mouth. By the time a staff member's finished explaining an idea, my brain's automatically created 5 scenarios of why it could be good and why it could be bad, and I'll give them an answer of whether I want to do it or not, okay? But my brain's wired a little differently from most people because of my background, right? So if your brain isn't wired that way, you have to get better at doing this. You have to get better because not everyone does this naturally. We all have natural talents in here, right? I'm fortunate. One of my natural talents really suits business, okay? If yours doesn't, from a strategic level, you have to get better at analyzing situations, okay? Analyzing strategies and analyzing, will it be successful or not, okay? And then being 5 moves ahead. So as those strategies are being implemented, what are you already working on behind the scenes? The next 5 moves, okay? And then ultimately reverse engineering the steps to get there, okay? So once you've painted that vision, reverse engineering the steps. And then what's a step further than that some of you have never ever thought about in this room? Who here is building their business to exit with a high multiple? Put your hand right up, all the way, nice and high. It's about 6 of us, okay? Until 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't even know what that meant. I had no clue how to do that. So it's okay if you sat here today, right? But guess how I learned how important that was? When I had a $6 million business that I never sold, okay? Because I didn't build it right. Guess when it was also important? When I got $4 or $5 million offers for a business that if I had built differently over the last 4 years could have been worth $10 million. You think I would have sooner paid $25,000 to sit in a room and learn it? How much did I lose by not learning that? $10 million. Okay? You're here today. Don't make that mistake. I paid $10 million for that mistake to share it to all of you for much less. Okay? So don't make that mistake. Build to sell. Even if you're not going to sell, why do you think a business gets a higher multiple or exit if it's built correctly? Because it's built correctly. So build to sell, even if you don't want to sell. Okay, next one. Know your numbers. Okay? Data is one of the most powerful tools you can have in business. Okay? This was a quote that Digital Marketer actually pulled from one of my presentations. They posted it, and then we made a graphic out of it. It wasn't something I planned, okay? Something that came naturally with no planning, okay? But it truly is. And I don't think I have to spend too much time on this point. Put your hand up if you believe data is one of the most powerful tools, okay? After this weekend, you all should. You've got to build your whole framework around numbers, okay? Numbers don't lie. People do, okay? Numbers don't lie. People do. Often, people won't lie maliciously, okay? They won't lie because they have bad intent. Why will they lie? Because they're human beings. They're wrong. They're people, okay? Accurate numbers help you make the right decisions in your business, okay? While you're a solo entrepreneur, you're maybe just thinking about what to work on today, okay? Who here wakes up and just asks that question, what am I working on today? When you're a solo entrepreneur, a lot of you, that's how I was 10 years ago, right? Now imagine you have 10 businesses. Are you going to wake up with that same question? No. You're going to, hopefully, if you build the business right, do what? Look at the numbers. Look at reports, okay? Look at what's happening across all the businesses, and what's that going to tell you? What you're going to work on today, right? So numbers can become an SOS alarm, right? Because if you eventually have 20, 30, 40, 50 staff members, if you eventually are doing $10,000 a day, what is also going to happen? Staff members are going to steal from you. Staff members are going to break their contracts, maybe even break the law. Systems are going to break. Your website's going to go down. Your ad account is going to go down. Okay? What are the numbers going to do? They're going to raise an alarm bell when any of that happens. Okay? So you catch it right there and then, not 10 hours later after you've spent $5,000 to a broken funnel, not 4 months later after the staff member stole $100,000. Okay? All of these are situations that have happened to me. Okay? Because I didn't, at the time, have the right systems in place. Okay? When you have 30, 40, 50 staff members, how are you going to make sure those 30, 40, 50 staff members are working on the right thing? Are you going to do a call every single day with all 40 staff? Who wants to do that? No one? Oh. What are you going to do? What if you had a dashboard and all the numbers so the staff members could see what was most important? Could you trust they're probably going to use their brains and work on the right thing? Most of the time. Okay, most of the time. And most importantly, numbers let you grow faster for all those reasons. And what else do? They let you leave. They let you leave the business. Who here wants to leave their business? Weird question. Half and half, right? Who here wants to build a business that makes millions of dollars where they could leave, even if it's just for a week on vacation? Same question, framed differently. Numbers let you do that. Okay? Next is the team. Okay? And ironically, hiring top talent is also a numbers game. Okay? But the team's key. Okay? Nothing great happens without a great team. Nothing great happens without a great team. Okay? In the last year, we've hired dozens of people, hundreds of people. With the US brands, across my brands and those brands, we've only hired 2% of applicants. 2%. Who here's interviewed 100 people to make 2 hires? Anyone has been that picky? 2 of us? 1 of us? Okay. You've got to really focus on A and B players. And sadly, you've got to let go of C players. Even if they're your friends, even if they've been there for years, even if they have a family to feed. Because if you don't, the A and B players that also have families to feed, and your families will suffer. Okay? Business isn't easy. It's not always fun. It's not always nice. No one said it was, right? You got into business and became an entrepreneur to achieve a goal and to make an impact, okay? If your impact's great enough, you're going to have to make hard decisions, which aren't always nice, but it has to be done, okay? The cost of a wrong staff member is 10x what you pay them, okay? Maybe even 100x. So it's not about getting rid of bad people for the sake of it. It's about getting rid of bad people and building a team of A and B players only that thrive, okay? You can't have a mix of culture. You can't have a bunch of staff that are part-time, they're always late, they're always unreliable, and the work's subpar, and then expect to also build a team that executes everything perfectly, that you trust, that thrive, and that enjoy their work environment. Okay? Doesn't happen in elite sport. It doesn't happen in the wilderness with wolves, with bears, with packs. Okay? It's not happened since the start of mankind. Okay? Human nature. You also need to look after those great staff members, okay? You need to give them ways to progress, promotions, pay rises, pay opportunities. And that should also grow as your business grows, okay? 5 years ago, for a developer, for a copywriter, for a media buyer, I couldn't afford $100,000 a year, $70,000 a year. I had cheaper ones, okay? Right now, I can't afford a Silicon Valley tech guy that's $200,000 a year. Doesn't make sense for my business and my margins. But my business has changed a lot from 5 years ago, where I paid a tech guy $35,000, $40,000 a year. Okay, it's doubled. And I would like to think in the next 5 years, that will double again. Okay? So the pay and the type of people and the level of people you bring in has to grow with your business. Okay? So don't worry. If you're starting out right now, you don't have to pay your developer $80,000 a year. You can hire one on Upwork for $6 an hour like I did, okay? And obviously pros and cons. But then when the time's right, you have to know when to let that person go and go maybe in-house or US or Canada-based, right? Or UK-based. And maybe pay $15, $20, $25 an hour, okay? So your staff, the type of staff you bring in, the level of staff, and the pay of staff has to grow in line with the business, okay? You want to give incentives, bonuses, rewards, okay?